Same person, same salary, two completely different futures. My name is Arif.
My name is Arush.
And my name is Rafan, and we're from Cupertino High School. From your file, we learned that you're in your mid-30s, single, and living in Louisville, Kentucky. You're approaching the end of a 6-month lease, managing retirement accounts across several past employers, and working towards the goal of purchasing a loft. After 12 years in management across 3 different states, you're now working remotely and want guidance on homeownership, travel, debt repayment, and retirement planning. You're also confused about creating a budget, consolidating retirement accounts from different jobs, seeking other professional guidance, and getting comfortable investing instead of thinking the stock market is just a casino.
Let's look at where you stand today. Your current assets include $3,400 in checking, $53,000 in savings, your paid off Kia Forte, and three retirement accounts totaling $56,800, consisting of your Ohio, Indiana Roth, and your Kentucky 401k. Your only debt is a student loan at 4.99% with $79 monthly payment. We want to acknowledge that you eliminated $20,000 in credit card debt during your 20s. That's an amazing accomplishment. Your monthly pay income breaks down this way: $7,083 gross, $5,929 taxable after $1,154 in exemptions. And your deductions total about $1,800 for federal, state, Social Security, and Medicare tax. Larissa, working gives you flexibility, but with your lease ending in 6 months, it also puts a very close deadline on deciding what you want next. It's clear that you want a budget that counts for what you enjoy. You want to make space for trips at least twice a year and consistently meet friends for dinner. The biggest goals you mentioned is a $400,000 two-bedroom loft, paying off your student loans, and retiring by 65. These are priorities we should build into your budget and not treat as extras. With your $85,000 income, low debt, and strong savings, you're in great shape. You just need structure.
Looking at your spending patterns, your fixed costs are very sustainable for your income. 1,300 rent, 346 for utilities and phone combined, 155 for auto insurance, totaling 1,801. Your tracked expenses are a great start, but to make a proper budget, you first need to figure out your core costs. Where we see an opportunity to cut back is in your discretionary spending. This is a table of all your expenses for the past month. This table reflects the budget with non-essential spending cuts, resulting in a saving of $1,187.24. Obviously, life takes its course, but these variable expenses add up very quickly, and small intentional changes like these could make it harder for you to save for your locked down payment and retirement if left unchecked.
Now, Larissa, we've gone ahead and drafted two very extreme budgets for you. One focused more on retirement savings and investing, and the other focused more on day-to-day spending. As you can see, the first budget breaks down to 10% invested, 20% saved, 10% allocated to discretionary spending, and the remaining 60% as mandatory spending. Leaving discretionary spending as 10% of your spending may constrain your current lifestyle. However, it will set you up for retirement much faster and leave you with way more funds in the near future. Now, on the other hand, the second budget prioritizes discretionary spending, accounting for roughly 20% of all spending. This means you may be a little bit less prepared in the future in case of an emergency, but your life will be much more entertaining and unconstrained.
Now, let's talk about your debt management strategy. In short term, you should maintain your $79 minimum payment for your $9,500 student loan at 4.99%. This will help build your credit and lower your rates on future loans. In the long term, you can slowly increase your payments above $79 by trimming some discretionary spending as we suggested earlier. This will accelerate your payoff without totally sacrificing your lifestyle. Since your loan is small relative to your income and savings, we recommend you balance payoff with your loft savings and retirement investing rather than aggressively eliminating the debt.
Larissa, you've held back from investing outside of retirement largely because you grew up hearing the stock market was like casino. What's important to recognize is that you're already a long-term investor. You have three retirement accounts totaling about 56,800, which means you're already generating returns from your investments in your 401k. Investing and saving for retirement are not mutually exclusive. By focusing on both, you can supercharge your strategy and retire by 65.
Now, Larissa, we've created a four-step action plan for you to take your finances to the next level. First, create two budgets, one that prioritizes saving aggressively and one that intentionally opens up more space for travel and lifestyle. The reason you should do this is because that your goals compete for the very same dollars: homeownership, travel, debt payoff, and retirement. So seeing two realistic options helps you choose a plan that you can actually stick with long term. We've already shown you two examples of spending adjustments for the past month, but budgeting for these adjustments in the future is key.
Second, set a timeline for your loft down payment while continuing your loan payments. This matters because your lease ends soon, so the loft decision has a real deadline. At the same time, keeping consistent student loan payments protects your credit, which can get you lower rates on your mortgage.
Third, consolidate your Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky 401k accounts. This simplifies your finances by putting all your retirement savings under one coordinated strategy, making it easier to track progress and reduce confusion as you clearly see your long-term growth.
Lastly, split your $53,000 in savings between an emergency fund and a down payment savings account. This is important because you need liquidity and protection first, so that an unexpected expense doesn't force you into new debt or worse, take you over budget.
Currently, you have medical, dental, vision, and auto insurance, but no life insurance. As someone with no dependents or significant other, life insurance isn't urgent right now. However, it is worth revisiting after purchasing your loft, since coverage becomes more expensive with age. As for other professionals, you can hire a student loan counselor for a repayment strategy, and an insurance professional to evaluate your coverage needs and give you a quote.
Larissa, you're in a strong position because you built flexibility and options for yourself. This plan adds structure to your finances while also honoring what matters most to you, your lifestyle, your goals, and your future. By being intentional with your spending, coordinating your retirement accounts, and taking a long-term approach to investing, you move towards homeownership and long-term security without sacrificing the life you enjoy.